everybody, this is Frogman and welcome back to Engineer's Life 2. We've been playing a little bit, doing some of the ending kind of things, and we got a reactor up last time, and I kind of spent a little bit of time in between episodes just kind of building some stuff and fooling with a couple ideas because I'm trying to get some ideas for some later on down the road packs that we may be on playing. So last episode we ended by building a 3x3 basic everyday reactor, and I went ahead and upgraded it to as big as I could build with an with the basic stuff, which is a 5x5. That's as big as you can build with at least this level of the mod pack. And I kind of wanted to go ahead and continue to touch on these for a little while because I think we probably should have got into them a lot faster than what we did. We should have probably done this, I don't know, 20 episodes ago, because it would have saved me a lot of hassle in playing around with these diesel gens. They are still like my favorite way to make power in Minecraft, mainly because I'm a gearhead at heart. I'm a guy that, you know, that I used to be a heavy machinist, heavy machinery mechanic when I was in the United States military, and, you know, just big diesel engines and running big things. It's half the reason why I love immersive engineering, is because of the fact that the models are nice and big, they're reasonably accurate, and, you know, they're fun. So it's kind of, it tickles the mechanics heart in me that just loves this kind of stuff. So I'm always and forever going to play with this mod because I just love how it looks. So that's kind of the reason why we waited so long. So let's touch a little bit more on big reactors, and then I think we're going to do a kind of a wander. It's been 40 episodes, and we're kind of getting to that point where we kind of maybe need to look at doing some things. So as big as you can build with the basic reactor, according to the manual, and if I grab right there, is, as we looked at it last time, variants, reinforced basics, 5x5x5. So a reinforced, or the larger ones, can go up to a maximum total size of 256 blocks total. Now, I believe that's a 16x16 reactor or something along those lines, by 16, so a full chunk size reactor. And honestly, as far as reactors go, I would not bother building them any bigger than a 7x7 because of the fact that you do have the ability to play with turbines. And turbines unlock the power and the magic that comes from big reactors or extreme reactors or anything like that. Like I used to make a 7x7 reactor and then turn it into a actively cooled thing, pump it full of water, make it produce steam, and then it would run four max size turbines. So, yeah, I mean, if you really need a lot of power, like you got one of those mod packs that says you need, well, you know, something that outside of Draconic that needs a lot of power, you can definitely make a lot of power with these things. And it used to be one of my favorite mods. So we're going to touch on it again a little bit today. We did go ahead and add in some, I really kind of want to touch on this because it's another one of those things. You don't tend to get to play with these things unless you actually fool with it. And, well, we're playing a mod pack that has a really rather poor selection of internal moderators and coolers. So let's touch on that. That's kind of where I wanted to go today, at least for a little bit of a while, and then we'll talk about how we're kind of controlling this thing right now. Let's get all the way back to the reactor and moderators. Now, the reactants, the only thing we have as far as reactants for this pack are going to be yellorium ingots, and then other things like cyanite we can then later reprocess using a reprocessor into plutonium, into a lot of other things. It's a lot of fun. Like, kind of right now, I'd really love to be just running this thing as a breeder reactor so it can make a whole bunch of this stuff, and you usually tend to want to do that as a very poorly built reactor. You tend to just want them to burn fuel down here and make you a lot of stuff so that you can make a lot of stuff. You can make a lot of stuff. Even in extreme reactors, it's not a bad idea to try to build a breeder reactor early on just so that you can get a bunch of cyanite so you can get just straight into the turbines, because a turbine, any of the turbine parts that we're going to look at here, all require cyanite. You have to have cyanite in order to be able to do that. And in order to be able to build a max size turbine, you need a lot of it. So you tend to kind of want to build something that's going to be nasty. So is this thing just kicked on and kicked off? Cool. We've got this set up. So let's talk about about the moderators really quickly. So moderators are blocks or liquids that you put inside the reactor that will allow you to change how it performs. And had I mean, we can probably rip this thing down real quick and at least peel some of the moderators that I currently have in it out of it, and you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So let me see. In here, I think it's this one. Yeah, in the four corners here, I have put in gold blocks. And I just put in gold blocks mainly because they were the cheapest things I have as far as stuff to play with. So let's go rip those out real quick. Can I get them all? I might be able to get them all just by doing that. Yeah, I got them all. All right. Using air is very much not recommended at all as far as performance with a big reactor, an extreme reactor. Even in regular old, back in the day kind of stuff, it's a terrible moderator, and I'll show you why. Look at how hot this thing gets. And look at how much power well, the idea here is we want to try to take this heat and convert it into casing heat, which it basically makes it make more power. So we're looking at about 3,000, well, yeah, about 3,000 RF or KF, FE a tick, whatever it is at this point, forage energy a tick, just by doing that little thing. Now, if I go back in here and put the gold blocks back in it, or whatever have you, I mean, gold was just something that I happened to had fairly, decent amount of to go ahead and do this kind of stuff. And a boop, 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 and boop, boop, boop. And I think I can get in here and get these done without making an utter mess. Yes. Okay, cool. And then the ones up front, I'm going to have to break the controller, and I don't want to do that right now. Can I get you to give me that block back, please? Hello? Where did you? Oh, we only had two. All right, cool. And now you can kind of see the difference. This is kind of one of those things that you want to tend to kind of play around with. Notice how these are almost even at this point. That means we're converting all of our reactivity. We're running almost 99% at this point in time. All of the heat is being converted into casing heat, which increases coolant conversion, meaning steam, water into steam, or fuel into power. And the whole point is to try to get this and this to be as closely matched as you can so that they don't necessarily cause problems, or at least you get as much as you can out of the reactor. So let's take a nap. Okay, now to continue with that little thing, it is mentioned in the manual here, passively cooled reactors, fuel rods. Let's get back to the moderators here really quickly. It is mentioned right here that there are tooltips that if you turn on the standard advanced tooltips in Minecraft, which is F3H, which gives you the durability numbers and the other things, like if you look here right here, it says durability 95 out of 384. If I do F3H and shut that off, that's not going to be there. Most of the tooltips and all that kind of stuff is not there anymore. So that's just a standard function of, well, it's a standard function of regular old Minecraft. And that's how you're going to find what works. So the easy way to check a few things. Normally fluids, especially in passive reactors like this one, not active ones, are going to be better. So if we look at water buckets right there, it says extreme reactors, this block or fluid can be used as a radiation moderator inside a reactor. That is the only one. I checked all of them. As far as I can tell, that is the only, I mean, granted, we got fishes and we got things and you got fluids and you go fluid, liquid, whatever. Spell. Even this, like anything that could be put in a bucket, generally how I check is anything that can be put in a bucket should be checked to see if it can be put in a reactor. And they say that that's cheating. No, I think that's part of the game. The other thing is you can do block of as far as things, and this will give you a bunch of the blocks that you can use. So there we go, block of gold, block of iron. Notice diamond blocks are not in that, but emeralds are. Block of quartz is not. Of course, netherite is. I was going to put netherite in it, and then I'm like, well, maybe not. Block of uranium isn't. Yellorium. Used to be you could do that too. I don't even know if you can make a block of yellorium. Okay, that can be as well. I'm not going to sit there and fool around with these things. I don't really have any interest other than to try to make this thing make around that much stuff. All it has to do is pretty much keep up with two of these things. which it's doing. Well, it's not really. It's replacing one of them. A reactor this size is replacing almost one of these. So, and that's the thing that you're going to find with general things like this. It's a decent amount of thing, and this is a size big enough that you can actually kind of run something out on the field with it and kind of play around with it. But still, it's going to be one of those. I figure probably moving to the other size or moving to the reinforced stuff will likely get a little bit better. We're at the point now where I really don't think I'm going to be really too concerned about even going any bigger than this. If anything, I may plug this thing and make it an active reactor after like I let the game run for 3 or 4 days and burn up a whole bunch of uranium so that we can actually make a bunch of cyanide. One thing I am going to say here is I'm glad to see that they have changed the redstone ports. So redstone ports, reactor, redstone ports, these gentlemen right here, or this right here, those parts right there. And there's actually a few other things that we can kind of play around with while we're at it. I'm not really concerned about it. I don't want to make steam right now. I don't need steam. This port is something that, it used to be back in the day. You had they changed. Let me just put it like this. They changed the way this works now to where we actually have some decent stuff in here to play with. Now, I'm not exactly happy with how this number works, but active well below is capable, active well above is capable. So I can say if I want this thing to say once the internal energy right here hits a level below a certain percentage, send out a redstone signal to another port over here. I like the fact that I have an internal buffer now where it says 0 to 50. Now, I'm doing 0 to 50 because of the fact that I should probably have that at like 10 actually, so that it kicks on before it runs out of power. Reactors take a long time to warm up and a long time to cool down. So 10%, I thought I told you to do 10%. Thank you. Save. So what you want them to do is when they hit a certain level below the bottom, or when and if they hit a level below the bottom, to kind of kick on and start warming up before the buffer in the reactor here runs out. Then we kind of worry about whether or not the top section here, again, is the reason why I'm going to say the top max is around 50 is because this thing's going to continue to produce a lot of power for a long time. And unless you're draining that a lot of power, the amount that this thing can currently do right now, which is 3,000 RF a tick or 3,000 FE a tick, it's going to continue to run at that number for quite a long time. I mean, it's going to sit there and make 1,000 FE a tick for a good long period of time, especially with the way this one is running, where there's not a whole heck of a lot going on in this base right now, and it's going to end up overrunning and overproducing energy. So it's something you have to kind of fool around with. And then, I mean, you can technically take this and connect it to put the thing next to the deal here, but I like to use a wire so that I kind of keep them separated, but you can just do this normally with a little bit of redstone if you want to. I mean, it's not all that hard. In this one, we have it set from signal, and that's very simple. Basically, all that's going to do is it's going to toggle it on and toggle it off. Every single time it works, it just toggles it on and toggles it off. Now, you can do toggle on pulse. It sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know back with the old days, sometimes set from signal worked, sometimes toggle on from pulse worked. It was always one of those things that always kind of acted a little funny with this. So far, set from signal is working, and I'm assuming probably what I should be doing is setting that toggle on pulse. So I'm going to kick it to that point for now just for fun anyway and leave it alone. But I've been kind of sitting here fiddling around with it for the last hour, and that's kind of what I've been getting out of this. So right now we're not using enough power in the base to run this down, and technically I've got several of these generators shut off. This one is just maintaining a little bit of some of the other things going on because I did go ahead and run a whole bunch of energy through a bunch of uranium and whatnot through some things, and we got a whole bunch of lead and a few other things out of that as well. So we're just kind of letting stuff work. I really need to just go ahead and do that because we're not going to do anything out here, I don't think, anymore. All right, so I think with all that touching of don't go there, you family-friendly channel, with all the touching points of this, the reactors, it's a mod that I think you need to probably get into a lot sooner than we did. I don't even know where I can get into that point of time. I'd have to look it up. Time played, 6 days. There's really not all that much as far as I thought I did. Huh. Okay. But yeah, I really think we probably should have gotten into this several episodes ago, because it would have saved on having to deal with this. The uranium's not hard. It's kind of one of those things. As soon as you get that reactor up, or the reactor, as soon as you get the refinery or the distillation tower up and running, it's a thing that you need to go do. There are plenty of other things that we can definitely look at doing while we're here, but I'm kind of looking at saying, I think what I want to do is to show you guys some of the other stuff that we did in between episodes, because there are a couple of things, and then we're going to kind of maybe just figure out what we want to do. So one thing I did do is I got tired of dealing with the diamonds and things and stuff over there like that. So what I did is I went and bred up a bunch of bees, and I kind of modified this setup over here a little bit so that we now have, where are they? This one and this one, I have about 7 diamond bees. And what I did is I added a little bit of upgraded productivity upgrade in this, just for the funsies of it, to see what it's like. And it does seem to actually produce quite a bit amount more of stuff. So because of that, I had to go ahead and set up a centrifuge for all of these that are by themselves. And it's actually still causing a problem, because it's eating up the honey bottles, and it's causing times. One centrifuge can't keep up with this many bees. So technically, I probably need to go do something for these guys. And I've been watching them. It's slowly going down, and if I sleep a lot, these guys won't be in here making so many, combs. It's kind of one of those, the mod doesn't feel that well balanced yet to figure things out, because even then, we're sitting here, there's one in here, there's 3 of them. The one on the end here has got 4. I came by here earlier, I did a bit of exploring, and there was 30 diamond combs in here, just because I let them, run through a couple day night cycles. One centrifuge is not enough for that many bees, so it has helped. We've now got a decent amount of diamonds, I believe. Yes, I think yeah, we're getting there. We got almost a stack of blocks, which is okay, considering that we had like 9 or 10 before, when I got to the end of last episode. We've done a few other things. I don't think I've touched anything in here, but it's kind of one of those you kind of mess around. One of the biggest things I actually noticed was that I screwed up and accidentally forgot to shut off something over here, and overran the crushers in this building, because I forgot to turn the power back on after doing a little bit of fiddling around over here. And well, we have this wasn't so bad. That's bad. So I'm kind of bored, actually. I started running blocks of iron through the system, just because they work just as well as anything else does. But yeah, we kind of ran that over quite a bit. I had the redstone here was functional, but those were powered down, so they were just pumping iron and coal into them. So it was a really kind of a big mistake on my part. But anyhow, let's see. Can we take a nap? Not yet. Give me a second. All right, so I think that was another thing too, is I accidentally left that running and had a problem. The issue I had is the game crashed on me. I was busy doing a few things, and I think we can kind of start touching on that point. I was sitting here running back and forth between messing with the bees and messing with the reactor and messing with this building, and the game crashed on me. And the game crashed on me because of, I don't have any idea why it did. It's fairly standard Java, basically. And I left a whole bunch of things running, and then I forgot about it, and I came back in today to do the recording and let it run for a good little while, and we had stuff laying around all over the place. So I kind of keep looking at this, and I keep messing around with things, and we keep doing a few things, and I just kind of feel like the pack is starting to get to that point for me where I've kind of had enough of it. We've done a little bit of work, and I was going to go ahead and do a whole bunch of craziness up here and start building a whole bunch of craziness as far as the the actual rest of it is concerned. But if you look at where we are in the, get in there, please. If you look at where we are in the pack currently, we're pretty much, we've hit all of the major things that I wanted to kind of touch as far as things go. And I just kind of look at some of the rest of it, and it's like I'm thinking it's probably about time to kind of just maybe call it. If we grab this, we can go up in here. We did most of what I wanted to do in here. I mean, like, again, we should have gone in this a lot earlier, and we should have played around with some of this a little bit sooner. It's fine. It's Extreme Reactors. We've all messed with it. We have hit most of everything I wanted to do as far as the first steps chapter. I think we've got everything in there that was utterly necessary. I have no interest in completing any more of this. I think it's kind of one of those deals where if there was a reason, I would go do some more, but I don't think there's any real reason. I mean, why would I want to go fishing? I can grow my own food. Be productive. This has been a lot of fun. This has been very informative to me, and I'm actually very interested in messing with this particular mod again. Productive Bees has been a lot of fun. I think it could use a little bit more balance, but I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I get the idea of why people like Tetra. I would just rather have Tinkers, to be totally, honestly fair. I'd just rather have Tinkers. I'd rather use vanilla tools at that point. And the reason why I say that is because if I can build a vanilla tool that will outperform in every way, shape, and form of a modded tool, then what's the point of the mod? Generally speaking, there is nothing, the only modded part on that tool right there is the soulbound. Everything else is, this pickaxe has got, like, I forget, it says durability of 2,000. Theoretically, the durability on that, because it's Unbreaking 3, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 hits. Maybe. Generally. Come on now. And it's not even that hard to repair, because all I have to do is put mending on it, and I'll be able to repair it forever. So, Tetra's an interesting mod. Now, I did say, and I know I commented on it, there was a comment last time, and it will be a comment for a while, that I was thinking about using the Tetra blocks to get another build going. And the problem is that requires a Tetra tool to get up and get that stuff going, and I don't even remember what it is. I think it's one of these other hammers, or it's some one of these other tools in here that you have to build a tool to be able to demolish those blocks, and you have to put Silk Touch on that tool to be able to demolish those blocks. Otherwise, they turn into shards. They're very nice looking. They're very awesome looking, and I will probably figure out in another play, let's play eventually on down the line that we'll do something with. This one was not the one. This one was not the one. I thought I was going to do it, and it's just getting the parts up and the tools up to it. They need to do a lot more interesting work on that mod to make me interested in it. So I'm just going to probably just end that there. This, no, not even gonna, nope, not even interested. We've done a little bit of exploring. Actually, I got a Heart of the Sea the other day. It was fine. There's just, there seems to be a lot of just go do this, go do that, go do this, without any real direction in this mod pack. It's not really, there's a give, there's go, you can go do this, but there's no reason to, kind of thing. So I'm not really worried about it. This entire chapter does not need to be here. It's totally unnecessary. Matter of fact, I think this is one of the recommended mods that if you're having problems with the pack, to remove, because it's not needed at all. And exploration. We've done a little bit more in here. I did find some crystal shards and a few other things, but again, it's one of these, we built some of this stuff. I did this off camera because I was bored. Hey, look at that, a whole bunch of thing. What do we get? Did it give me all of that, or did it just give me a choice? I don't really care at this point. We're kind of done with it. So, Prismarine chest. Don't want you. Don't want you. Don't want you. What else have we got? Becoming an engineer. I was gonna build these, and I don't really see the need to now, because we're using the stuff that you're going to use for these. I think the only thing I really needed out of that was just basically what you need to do is just complete the parts. And we're not going to build them because I don't need it. Basically what you can do with a coker is take, what was it, where's the number, come on brain, it is this stuff, bitumen, right here. Run it through a coker with some water, it'll give you pet coke and sulfurized diesel. We're taking this stuff and turning it into graphite dust that we're then mixing with gasoline to make biofuel, to make biodiesel. So that's honestly a better way of doing it, because biodiesel runs longer in a diesel generator. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So there's no point for me in doing this because the biodiesel runs longer than the diesel generator. Sulfur recovery unit, we have so much sulfur. This is another one of those, you can get the sulfur thing here, and I was going to kind of look at that really quick. Hey, sulfur, if you need sulfur, a sulfur recovery unit, you take sulfurized diesel, turn it into regular diesel, and you will get a 2% chance on this. Or you can just, you know, grind up coal or netherite or things, or get a sulfur B, or in our case, I think it's the iron deposit, that iron deposit that's over there, that is a byproduct. So you can, there's multiple ways of getting sulfur, and I'm throwing the sulfur away. I don't use it for anything, so we can kind of just not worry about it right now. Anyhow, so this chapter is pretty well done as far as I'm concerned. There's some little bitty things that you're kind of just whatever, who, you know, we don't have to worry about it. Transportation, I was really looking forward to messing with some of this stuff. I got to a point where I didn't need to even worry about transporting anything outside of the base, period. So another missed opportunity. Maybe we'll play with it eventually when we see it again. Industrial foregoing. This is one of those chapters where I'm kind of thinking I wanted to do a little bit more, maybe, and that's just to kind of touch on the laser drills, because the laser drills have changed since 110 and 112. They're different now. This is all the same. This is all the normal stuff. I think the only thing that's really different is the enchantment stuff, which I haven't touched at all. But again, it's like, I don't know if I want to do another episode just for that. So it's kind of one of those, if you want to go into getting resources using laser drills, go right on ahead. Advanced storage, again, it's just refined storage, and it's an okay digital storage mod. We've done what we needed to do with it, and I probably could have played the entire pack without it. Pretty much. I think you can play the entire pack without this, because Immersive Engineering has auto crafting capabilities, and all you have to do is teach it how to do it with other things. So it's kind of not necessarily a thing that's important to me, but it did come in handy. Of course, Peaceful Atom, yep, we're going to leave that chapter the way it sits. And this, honestly, I don't even know why this is in the pack. I know this is probably the best armor, the best tools, or whatever. I don't understand why it's here. It doesn't make me want to. I don't collect cards. I'm not one of those people that collects cards. I mean, I have a whole thing full of stuff, full of cards, and I could probably go get some more. I'm not a person that collects baseball cards or football cards or Pokemon cards or anything like that. I'm not one of those kind of people that do that, so I just don't care. The rest of this stuff is an exchange thing that we didn't really need to use, other than I did turn in the monster coin. There are some neat things down in here, but as far as just playing the game, you can get all of this just by playing the game. Statistics, I got most of kind of a lot of the things that we were doing. I mean, I guess I could kill some more mobs. Free falling, all that goes. It's another one of those chapters you just go out and do a few things and you can have some fun, and it just you get rewarded for doing various things. Like, I guess I need to do 500,000 jumps. Yeah, never mind. Not worried about it. Cool. All right. So what do we got to claim? Take that, I guess. And I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to give this pack a hiatus for a while. We're going to give it a break. I think we're going to start something fairly quick and simple that we're going to maybe change the date on. I have hopes that there will be some updates in the future that will make this a little bit more playable, because there are some mentions of certain things being put into, where is it? Is it in here? Where is it? Becoming Engineer. This right here. This is a special mod that was put together so that they can build some more stuff. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody comes in and says, we want to build some more stuff. I'll probably play it off camera, and I'll probably try to finish my roof and a few other little things, because I did kind of have a plan for this. But I think for the point, we hit the Extreme Reactors section. We hit what I wanted to do, and I think we're kind of pretty well finished. So I think for now, we'll just give it a break and we'll see what happens, and I will see you guys in the next pack. Likely schedules are going to change, because I think we're going to want to try to knock out Satisfactory fairly quickly. So we may pick something up very quick, or we may not. I don't know. So I guess until then, guys, thank you so much for watching for now. And if it does get better, we'll come back to it. So bye, guys. Thanks.